Hi, everybody. Welcome to Hanging with Us tonight, because we are here to hang together. How are you? We have a lot of people here in the room tonight. We even may have some people off camera, but they're here. We have Eric, who has a new hamster. No, he's from New Hampshire.
Right.
You don't have a new hamster.
Not yet.
Not yet. When I was a kid, I thought New Hampshire was New Hampshire. I thought that's where you had to go to get new hamsters when your hamster died. True story. But that's not what the place is all about, I understand. It's Kentucky too, where John's from, which is Boston.
Oh.
Right?
It's very close. Yes.
And Jay on a good day is also from Boston.
Yeah. Occasionally.
Sean is from the beautiful bluegrass state of Kentucky. Buddy is from Chicagoland, and I live above that. So hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. We didn't really have a plan tonight, but I wanted to do a show and tell if you don't mind.
Sounds good.
I told Jay off camera that I stole some things yesterday to make him happy. I thought they might bring a smile to his face. Would you like to know what I stole in broad daylight in front of everyone?
Sure.
I stole things from my mother's record collection.
Oh.
Are you curious?
Yes, of course.
We've talked about my mother a little bit.
Yes.
Maybe off camera. My mom's actually very cool.
Yep.
My mom's pretty hip. Even today, I get in the car, she's listening to songs I haven't heard yet. So I decided on Easter, I got it in my head. I'm going to raid mom's record cabinet and just take what I want because she doesn't listen to records anymore.
Nope.
So
he has
I
risen and so have these albums.
Huh?
He has risen and so have these albums.
We'll start with Chicago 17.
Nice.
There you go.
Good one.
Very nice copy of this. David Foster, the last album with Peter Cetera.
Peter Cetera, yeah.
Okay, so that one. All right.
Mm-hmm.
That's one. I actually went to this concert with my mother.
We guess before you show it?
Sure.
Billy Joel.
No.
Okay.
No. Bryan Adams.
Oh.
Bryan Adams. Nice.
Yeah, copy of Reckless.
Cuts like a knife or something?
Oh, no, this is Reckless. This is Heaven.
Okay.
In summer of 69.
Yep.
Straight from the heart.
Yes. That's on there too.
Yeah.
I have a copy of this, but of course Mom did too.
Oh, classic.
Dire
Not a
Straits,
bad
Brothers
song
in
on
Arms.
it. Not a bad song on it.
Yes.
Fade to Black, you got to listen to.
Or a copy of Tina Turner, Private
Great
Dancers.
album.
Okay.
Great album. Mark Knopfler played on that.
Okay, this is not my mother's album. This is my sister's album, and I'm taking it. I don't care. And the reason I'm taking it is because I spent days sitting on the floor, staring at this album cover, trying to figure it out. And now that I'm older, I totally have it figured out. I know, well, not totally. I still don't totally have it figured out, but I at least understand the title a little better. And listen to this album on repeat as a child.
Yep.
That would be Captain Fantastic and the Brown Dirt Cowboy.
Wow.
Elton John, right here.
Great time for Elton. A lot of great material.
This one was Mom's. She had the greatest hits, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. We're going to save this one for last. That one's for Jay, actually. This is for last. Okay. We have
By the way, I don't know if
18.
you heard what I said. The Mark Knopfler. Oh, there we go. Mark Knopfler played on the Tina Turner album.
A lot of people.
Kind of interesting that you put them back to back.
Pretty cool. Well, yeah, Mom has a certain taste, I guess.
Speaks to that.
Okay. An early copy of this, Beach Boys greatest hits. Say 15 big ones.
One of their 25 greatest hits albums.
Yes, one of the many. One of the many.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I told you that my father had very different musical tastes, right?
Yes.
So I just grabbed one of his records because I'm going to put it in the collection because I remember this from when I was a kid. I remember when he ordered it off of TV when it came on, he got very excited and called the number or mailed in the check or whatever he did. This was
Comedy
Dad. Okay, so Mom's listening to this stuff, right?
Yep.
Okay, Dad's jamming to 40 hits of the 40s.
Yep. There you go.
Okay, that's Dad. All right. It's the yin and yang that I grew up with. Okay, this album was not my mother's. This was my brother's. And maybe I'll give it back to him when he comes in May. I don't know. We'll see. But listen to this on repeat as well.
Bob
Eric Clapton, Just One Night.
Oh,
Live
good
album.
one.
Nice.
Yes.
Great album.
Okay, now the album that I saved for last for my good dear friend, my brother Jay. We talked about this before, huh?
I got an idea.
What is it?
Would it start with an A?
No.
Oh,
no.
Does not start with
better. Okay, so let me just say this was 100% my mother's record.
Yep.
She loved it. She went out and bought it. Just like Jay probably did when it came out.
I will tell you in a second. All day long.
Miami Vice.
All day long, sir. Apparently,
I told you my mom.
Woman with great.
I told you my mom bought the Miami Vice soundtrack just like you did, and she watched it.
Yep.
And she liked it just like you.
I did too.
You were cool like my mom. I wasn't doing that.
I don't have it. It's somewhere in the garage, but I have the Jan Hammer Music from Television CD, where it's literally all the instrumentals from Miami Vice.
I remember that.
And it's a great album. Very chill.
Well, I was telling Mom about our conversations where you would talk about in the 80s, you were doing the whole Miami Vice thing. And I said, yeah, I wasn't doing that. She laughed. She said, no, you weren't, were you?
Yeah. Does that have the payolas, Eyes of the Stranger on it, Brian?
I don't have my reading glasses down. Well, yeah, I do.
I would guess what, like You Belong to the City is probably in that one.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I can tell you what
tracks.
song. They're almost in order for the first few songs. It starts out with, of course, the Jan Hammer theme song. And then it does, I think, Smuggler's Blues next.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. The first song is the original Miami Vice thing, Smuggler's Blues. And the next one is Shaka Khan, Own the Night. Glenn Frey, You Belong to the City. Phil Collins, In the Air Tonight. That's side one.
Oh.
Side two is Once Again, the Miami Vice theme song. You have to hear that every time you hear the rest of it.
It's
another episode. Yeah,
side two. Next episode, side two, right? Okay. And Vice. Oh, wow. Vice is Melly Mel, Grandmaster Melly Mel. Better Be Good to Me, Tina Turner. Flashback by Jan Hammer.
Yep. Great track.
Chase by Jan Hammer. Probably different Chase than Giorgio's Chase, of course.
Yes.
And track called Evan, also by Jan Hammer.
Oh, yeah. Evan was the big episode. It's got that and then the like the keyboard over it. It's funny because there's two Glenn Frey tracks on that, Smuggler's Blues and You Belong to the City.
Oh, yeah.
And
Phil Collins. I have to assume that their label was probably the backer, because how else do you get two of the biggest artists of the time? Well, I guess Glenn's
the Glenn Frey songs were new. The Phil Collins song was like at the time, what, 5 or 6 years old?
Yeah, but like the Smuggler's Blues was written for Vice. And I don't know about You Belong to the City.
You Belong to this. Yeah, I think that was before, because the music video was Mighty Lights.
Right.
I remember that. The Smuggler's Blues was a little different. But it was more of an original video, if I remember correctly.
Because then they had a video that showed the episode from Miami Vice with Glenn Frey in it.
I think you're right. And a girl playing the saxophone, which may or may not have been true.
Yeah. We don't know. Yeah. Mom,
you know what's kind of funny?
An amazing woman with great taste in music. So I think we've established that.
I'll let her know.
You know what's kind of funny about that? Like the Glenn Frey, he's got 2 tracks on that soundtrack.
Yeah.
And then Beverly Hills Cop, The Heat Is On. Weren't those kind of close together?
2 years apart, maybe. Let me look. I think Beverly Hills Cop was I think it was 84. I don't know what year Miami Vice was. 86?
85, 86.
Okay, yeah.
I'm looking for a date on here.
I want to say it
Roman
started
numerals,
in
which confuses me.
85, maybe.
The album came out in 1985.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're only a year apart. Yeah. Good
Yeah.
observation,
Well,
Eric.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure you guys know you're all DJs, but writing for a soundtrack that does well can make you a lot of publishing money.
Back in the old days, it was the thing. Soundtracks were the thing.
Well, and you remember, and I'm sure you guys too, you're old enough, some of you. You used to only get releases on soundtracks. I bought the Ford Fairlane soundtrack
For
because
Cradle of Love.
Rock Cradle of Love, but also Queensryche, Last Night in Paris. They didn't release it on any other album. So
Well, we
if you
talked
wanted
about,
it,
yeah.
you
We
had to
talked
buy
about that
release.
before. Like Prince's Good Love was only on Bright Lights Big City, as was
Yeah.
Mars Pump Up the Volume.
Yeah.
You could buy the single, but that was on there. There were a lot of things like the Footloose soundtrack. It's not a thing anymore. People aren't writing original music for movies that are like huge songs. Not
No.
very often. Lady
No.
Gaga did it with Shallow. And did anything happen with the Top Gun Maverick music? I don't know that it did.
I think she had a momentary hit. I don't think it didn't last the way that like Berlin did with Take My Breath Away, and nor do I think it will. I've never
Yeah.
played it. I've played Berlin Take My Breath Away 1,000 times. I've never played the Lady Gaga Maverick sound.
Never going to touch Danger Zone.
No. Well, you've got like, what was it? Vision Quest. Lunatic Fringe was a couple years old from Red Rider, but that was the big song on there, along with,
Yeah.
I think, Only the Young from Journey
think
was
so,
on
yeah.
there, perhaps. You had
Well, and like Footloose had Footloose. They had
Footloose.
the Mike Reno and
Ann Wilson, yeah.
Ann Wilson track.
Desperately
can't remember
Seeking
the name of.
Susan. That was the only way you can get crazy for you, I think, for a while.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
And Into the Groove.
I got those as 45.
It's funny. I heard a podcast the other day, and they were talking to the guitar player from the Knack, and just to show the difference between today's music and the '70s, with licensing. Once like the late '80s, early '90s, '90s, 2000s hit, suddenly My Sharona became like a licensing machine.
Yeah.
And they said, in your career since the song came out, how have you done? Because he said the record label advanced us $1 million. Then they paid for the album. Well, the problem is you owe them the advance and the album. So we were
Right.
suddenly broke. We had to tour, try to make money. We did a second album. It didn't go anywhere. It was critical, but not fan. We broke up like 85. He goes, but since probably 96, 97, I've made between 150 and 250,000 a year off My Sharona, like residuals every year. So he's sitting up in LA doing nothing, making $250,000 a year off a song that came out in 79, whatever. And, because of all the publishing.
Right. If you
And I think
if you
back
hold
then,
that, yeah.
Glenn Fry probably saw money on the wall too, going, hey, if this movie does well, they don't want to pay me up front. They'll give me a point. Who was it? Matt Damon said that he got offered 5% to get involved with Avatar. Who the
lot of
famous
money.
director,
James Cameron.
James Cameron.
James
yeah.
Cameron said, I'll give you 5 points of the movie if you get involved. And he said no. And the movie made like $1 billion and he would have
Right.
gotten
True.
5%. I mean, dude, like, where's your brain? And he says it's still my biggest, like, dumb move of ever. But
Right.
you
And
know,
then
if you-
John Travolta got paid $30,000 for Pulp Fiction, which was kind of another Mr. Bungle move, I think.
yeah,
probably.
but when you look at his career now, it doesn't exist.
It
without
was a
Pulp
relaunch
Fiction.
of his career, yeah. But
Yeah. You
I
really,
think I think he should have got like a percentage point or something. But who knew? They thought it was going to be a dumb little film.
well,
Got a little bit.
I think he should still thank, Quentin Tarantino for getting him back on the map.
Oh yeah, him
'Cause he was way
and
gone.
Bruce Willis too was not doing real great back
No.
then. So, would you guys like a show topic after my show and tell?
Sure.
Yeah, what do you got?
What do you want to talk about?
I had an idea in the car today, and usually I get an idea and I'll think, okay, let's see how I feel about it in an hour. And I revisit and say, okay, I still like the idea. Let's see how I feel about it like this afternoon.
I know why, because now you can see clearly on the drive home because you got rid of that 55-year-old windshield.
A 58-year-old windshield. Windshield is not as old as Jay, but close.
True.
Wow. Hey,
And it was original too. It was all original. The guy was freaking out.
Right, and Jay ain't. So yeah.
I've got some stainless to work with to work on that, but that's another show. Okay, we've never done this. I thought it would be fun. I don't see any reason why everyone here can't participate because this is a matter of opinion. I was thinking about, there are certain bands out there that I'm sure are good, but quite frankly, their name is so ridiculous, I don't pay any attention to them. So let's do a show on stupid band names.
Sounds good.
I was
Original
thinking
name or the name they actually go under now?
the name they go under. And you know who I
Okay.
was thinking of specifically? Foo Fighters. Great
Dave Grohl
band.
agrees. He doesn't like
Fighters
it.
of the Foo, yeah.
He doesn't even like the name. It sounds so I don't care, which I know was the thing in the 90s when he did that.
Yeah.
As we're neckbeards,
Screaming Trees and
we'll do around the room.
okay.
What are you going to go first, Jay?
I think Screaming Trees, it's a great band, but it's a stupid name. I think Tonic is a dumb name, but an amazing band.
No, save some for
Let's
us.
do one at a time.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
John, do you have a stupid band name?
Stupid man. I always thought yellow card was a dumb name because that's a penalty in soccer. They give you a yellow card, it's something bad. Like why would you name your band after a violation?
Right.
Yeah.
Sean, do you have a stupid band name you'd like to share with us?
Mag and Dragons.
Imagine Dragons.
Yeah, Dragon's
It's-
cool.
Dungeons and Dragons players got to be.
Dragon is cool, but
listen to that.
Imagine Dragons?
Mag and Dragons.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
Like they were almost there and they blew it.
Somewhere tonight they're selling out a stadium going, if only we had changed our name.
Eric, you have a stupid band name for us?
Yeah, this is for Jay. The Beaver Brown Band.
Dude, John, it's John Caffey in the Beaver Brown Band, okay?
Oh, by the way,
Get it
Jay,
straight.
Jay, they're going to be playing Summerfest this year.
Are they really? You should go
Yes.
see them.
Buddy, do you have a stupid band name for us?
20 versions of Dark Side.
I'm probably going to say Walk the Moon. Even though they have Shut Up and Dance With Me, popular song, still a popular song.
Right.
but
Not a bad
Walk
song,
the
but
Moon, it's like,
Yeah.
okay.
here's what I hate. And I think I've heard Jay bring it up multiple times. And I'll make a confession. I couldn't name one of their songs if you put a gun to my head. Probably heard them, but couldn't name one. And that would be Death Cab for Cutie.
Great band.
I think Death Cab is a killer name. But for Cutie, at the end, they ruined it. They took a good thing and they destroyed it.
Two of the
They
members
took
went
it
on
too
to do
far.
another band called Postal Service. So it's obviously in their head to have fucked up names. Sorry. messed up. That's the vape talking.
Jay, go ahead and you can. Well, Jay did Postal Service or
Fritz
something.
and the Tantrums. I didn't like that name when they came out. They got hand clap.
Yes, I remember that.
They got
Great
John.
song, but
Do you have a stupid band name?
Not right offhand.
How about you, John?
What else from the silly? It's always the indie bands that get the weird names. Tame Impala. That's
and
like
they're a good band.
it's a good band, but that's like
Right.
a very meek elk, right?
Yeah.
Could have been Meek Elk, but yeah, that was a weird one.
Right.
Yeah.
How about you, Eric?
I'm gonna say Men Without Hats. Stupid name.
That's a stupid name.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The 80s have lots of them.
I'm with ya.
We'll head there next.
You know, a name that and I usually, if it's a real proper name, if it's real, and I don't know if this one's real or not, but if it's a real proper name, I give it a pass. So even like Hanson, it's their name. That's who they are. That's fine.
Right.
Sure.
Fleetwood Mac.
The
It
drummer.
kind of sounds like a Cadillac and a Mack truck mixed together in my brain. A fancy truck, but yeah, it's their proper names. I give them a pass. But I do have a hard time with Greta Van Fleet, and I don't know why.
And it's a person too.
Is
But
the guy's name Greta?
No, it's a person in history. It's sort of like saying Lizzie Borden.
Oh,
Yeah,
I don't like it.
I don't either. I don't like the band because they're just such a Zeppelin tribute.
Buddy, I skipped over you and I apologize for that. What do you got?
How about Garbage? Because, you know, you want to trash the name. Great songs, you know, Stupid
makes sense.
Girl and stuff like
Maybe
that.
not
right
about
on
some
by that.
marketing decision they made
Well,
on
yeah,
naming.
but you think of the name, you don't think of great songs coming from Garbage. You think, you know, and again, they're kind of, you know, a rock band, kind of
Yeah.
that grungy kind of feel to it. But you think of it, you know, you hear about it, you hear Garbage, you're like, oh, whoa, they got gross songs, but they actually get some good songs. So,
Yeah.
kudos to them.
Lori is in the
Take
chat
notes.
and she's saying Blind Melon.
Oh, there you go.
But do you know where I think the name came from? The Cheech and Chong record, Blind Melon Chitlin.
Probably
Remember him?
Shannon Hoon, a heroin addict who died very
All right. Yeah. I think Garbage got their name, and one of the members, their mother said, "What's that garbage you're playing up there?"
Probably.
When they were
I
practicing, you know.
I think the majority of names come from either a last minute decision or we have no choice, or I saw this on a wall. They literally, there's never a story of like, we spent months and we wrote, no, it was literally like all of a sudden the album was done and we needed a name. And it was
It
like,
was, yeah.
how about Hole? You know,
There
like,
was
okay, let's do that.
In the early days of the interwebs, when everybody had it, like in the late 90s, I guess, when everybody had web crawler, there was a website that would automatically generate a band name for you. And the band Eiffel 65 used that website to name their band.
Wow.
How about the Village People?
I don't know if that's a dumb name.
You don't think so?
Well, they were talking about Greenwich Village, so it's a little descriptive.
That's actually, yeah. I don't mind
So-
that. Well, let's switch it up a little bit. Shall we?
Go ahead.
Awesome band names. Names that just
Aerosmith.
from a marketing perspective, it sounds cool.
Kiss.
Jay says Aerosmith.
I would have said Kiss.
Journey.
You expect it to take you on a journey.
That's right. Yeah.
Motley Crue, you expect them to be a bunch of bad boys. They're a Motley Crue, all right.
It's
Yeah.
a proper name, and I don't know why I like it so well, but I do. I always like the way it sounded, and it just sounded tough, and I don't know why it did. It shouldn't, but it does. Van Halen.
Van Halen. I was just
I
gonna
like
say that.
Van Halen. It's a cool band name.
Just a family name. They got lucky from the Dutch, right?
Yeah, Von Halen is probably.
Steve in the chat threw us out a good one. ZZ Top.
Yeah. Oh, I saw Twisted Sister as well.
Twisted Sister too.
Unfortunately, if you go to a record store, ZZ Top, not really in your first couple of hundred shelves. You got to get way down the end and start from the back and come
Yeah,
forward.
dollar for alphabetically. Yeah.
You're at the
For
end
years
of the
and-
phone book.
For years and years and years, it was like from ABBA to ZZ Top meant you had everything.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
Right.
just ate it.
What about Van Halen?
I said Van Halen
Okay.
30 seconds ago.
Okay.
Yeah, come on, Sean. Keep up.
Sean's taking a nap. Sean, wake up, Sean. Wake up.
Buddy, what's a cool
Sean's
band
got
name?
Destiny on his mind.
I'm going to say Cool in the Gang.
That's a cool name.
That is a cool
In it,
name.
man. Come on.
Yeah.
And I'll take your cool in the gang and I'll raise you Gap Band,
Oh, I was going to say that Gap Band.
which is initials for some streets in Tulsa that have a lot of Black history attached to them. I don't remember the names of the streets, but it's what do you call it? An anagram of like three main streets in this historic Black community in Tulsa is what Gap is.
What about the
I
SOS
always like-
Band?
What is
SOS
it? Oh,
Band.
SOS then. Yeah. Now you're
Atlanta, I
thinking
think they're from Atlanta. I
Yes.
believe.
I
Yeah.
think
Now yeah.
I think they're
I always liked the Rolling Stones, that name. I always liked
Great
that.
name.
good name.
Yeah.
Great.
From
Yeah.
an old Muddy Waters track.
Catchy. Sticks with
Now,
it.
I'll give
But
you,
I think as far as like the band is what it sounds like, Guns N' Roses.
There you go. Yeah. I mean,
When for like 6 months, I really honestly thought the band was called Guts and Roses. GUTS Guts.
I could see
I don't know
that.
why, but I did.
now I'm going to give you one from my hometown. Midnight Star.
Midnight Star. That's a cool name.
They're from
Lori in chat says Go-Go's.
Yep, that's
It's catchy.
interesting.
It's catchy.
Metallica, you know what you're getting. You're not walking in
Yes, that's a
thinking,
very good name,
"This is gonna be
especially
Barry Manilow tribute."
Yeah,
That's right.
It starts with metal. You kind of know what you're in for.
Metallica.
yes.
This
And
is
you
going
thought
to be
you
elevated.
could, you could
Anthrax.
see the name Metallica
The
before
metal
you even,
names were always very good about.
Just the name of
Hear
this
the song.
band makes you wonder what you're gonna hear. Electric Light Orchestra.
Yeah, ELO.
Yeah,
Right.
It says
Yeah.
it all. Yeah.
It was interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Well,
Any more awesome band names you guys can think of?
Well, rock swung the other way because then you
What'd you
just
say,
grab
Jay?
Slayer,
Slayer.
Where?
and it's never. I won't say it. It's never Slayer. It's always blanking Slayer. No one ever says I'm into Slayer. They go, I'm into blanking Slayer. Oh, Steve. Yeah, good one. Jackal.
Jackal. And it was just reminding me of a Halloween mask or something.
They hold a record for doing 24 gigs in 24 hours in 24 places.
The only Jackal
Like-
song I can name, I think, is the Chainsaw song. Did they do that one?
lumberjack.
Lumberjack, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They had a
The only other one I
chainsaw.
know is Down on You.
down on.
Yeah, I remember. I do remember that one.
Yeah.
Down on me.
Rain.
Down on
Down
me.
on Me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who is it? Is it Jesse James? Is their lead singer Jesse Dupree?
Jesse James
something.
Dupree. Yep.
Not Robbie Dupree. He's a different guy.
No, different
Different
guy.
guy.
Why don't we steal away?
Great song.
Yeah, it is a great song.
Did you watch that documentary
Yes.
where he tells the whole story of it?
Yes. Excellent.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Excellent.
So, Brian, how about OMD?
Interesting.
OMD.
you know
I
what,
like
for
the
the
name
time-
OMD. I like that. I
But
always
when
like
you can
Duran
do
Duran
initials,
too.
It's like OAR. You know, like if you're doing initials, it's already, you're giving that mystique of we have a name, but we're doing initials. Like the band UFO, they weren't initials as much as UFO became its own thing.
Yeah.
Sort of like Kleenex and facial tissue.
Right.
You didn't have to say that's an unidentified flying object. You just say UFO. Okay, I know what you mean.
Lori in chat mentioned Bananarama. I like that name.
I did too.
Bananarama.
I don't know why, but I liked it. Yeah.
But it was a fun name.
Bananarama. That sounds painful, if you ask me. You know, Bananarama.
Okay, well, you're
That's another
going
story.
somewhere we didn't. That's what that says,
Right.
buddy. Well, welcome to Describing New Hampshire.
Should we really tell what the kids of Steely Dan is? Or
Oh,
should we
yeah,
just
let's skip
keep this-
that one.
We can talk about that. Yeah.
You go to
we,
P-Town and figure out what that one is there, John.
Yeah.
we did Elton John, Captain Fantastic, and the Brown Dirt Cowboy earlier. We might as well talk about Steely Dan.
Well, it's not a band name, it's an album name, but to this day, it's still my favorite album name of all time. And the band is King's X. And
Yes.
if you don't know King's X, it's a trio out of Texas. Every heavy metal band thinks they're the greatest band. Sort of like every rock band thinks Cheap Trick is the greatest band ever. Like Aerosmith's toured with Cheap Trick like 30 times. They
Yeah.
think Cheap Trick is just the best band ever. And the album by King's X, after Out of a Silent Planet was their big breakthrough where they had like Shot of Love and a couple other tracks. But the next album was called Gretchen Goes to Nebraska. And I just always thought, what the hell does that mean? Like
I was
Gretchen
thinking about the Bruce Springsteen album,
Goes to
Nebraska,
Nebraska.
too.
Yeah, like what's in Nebraska? And
Why?
is
Why?
Gretchen going there?
There's,
But it elicits thought.
maybe I would be living my best life in Nebraska right now, and I'll
Maybe
never
you could
know
meet
'cause
Gretchen. You know, maybe she's hanging out still. I
Right.
don't know.
I
You'd
don't
just
know.
be
If she was
just
young, she's only in her 50s.
watching those
I was
planes
just-
fly over all day.
Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah.
stops you.
No.
How about spaceships? How about George Clinton, his group? What was it?
Oh, Parliament
Tom
Funkadelic.
Parliament Funkadelic.
That's a name.
Yeah,
That's a great
those are
name.
cool.
Mhm.
That's a lot of syllables. That'll stick with you.
He
You
did
go back to
both.
that period of like the Shy Lights and the, bands like that were just like, it's a the and the name. The Four Tops.
Yeah, the
The
stylistics.
Temptations. The Stylistics. There was that period. The Eagles. I mean, there was that
The
thing. They all
Blackbirds.
did that.
Eagles.
Nobody talks about. Well, was it the Blackbirds or Blackbirds? I don't know, but I like Blackbirds. with
Yeah.
Walking in Rhythm. That's a cool song.
It's a good name.
How about Starship?
Yeah, Starship.
Yes, Jefferson Starship. I think
You like that better than Jefferson Airplane, though?
a lot better.
You do.
I do like the
Yes.
Starship. Yeah.
The
yeah.
name or the band?
The name.
The name. Okay.
I don't know why, but I do.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
a rare double name that makes sense because that's the Grateful Dead period and Electric Grape
There's
and
another one. Yeah.
a lot of double names. You know?
When I think of stuff, and I think of like, you go into I think of, of names like Mr. Mister. You got, Mr. Joe, you got these bands that have the word Mr. in it, like kind of proper title. You have all these bands in there. You can look in there and they have all these songs that have played over, God's creation. So you have a lot of the Mr., but there's not a lot of bands that have like, her or she. It's like it's have proper
Mrs. Yeah, there's not a lot of there's no
Mrs.,
Mrs.
but not
band.
like she's she's the one or something like that, or he's the one. Usually it's more proper.
But see, on the hard rock side, we had the word white because we had
And
Great
black.
White,
Great
Start the
one.
list.
White Snake, White
The Great
Lion, like,
Yeah.
and there was still, I'm missing a couple, I guarantee.
The Great White, right?
The one I always liked that
Did you
didn't
say that?
make sense, but I thought it was cool was Tigers of Pantang.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it was John Sykes,
John Sykes. I was just looking at that today.
Thin Lizzy, Blue Murder,
Yeah.
his first band, and they were in that Nawaba, the new wave of British heavy metal, and it was Tigers of Pantang, and I always thought that's kind of that's a tough name.
Speaking of cool names,
Anthrax.
I think there are missed opportunities out there sometimes. And it's just me. But does anybody know what the captain's real name is from Captain Tennille?
Tony. No, that's her name.
Her name is Tony Tennille.
She's done.
Yeah.
You know what his real? You know what
Daryl.
the captain's real name is?
That sounds right.
Daryl.
Daryl Dragon.
That's
Oh
it.
wow.
Is that a rock star name all day?
Daryl Dragon.
Your name is Daryl Dragon, and you change your
You
name
get
to
the
the captain?
They're right.
You
It
don't
should have
even
been
stand in line.
Daryl Dragon
Right.
and the other girl. Yeah, that should have been.
Daryl
Yeah.
Dragon.
Like you think Daryl Dragon, he'd be doing something kind of like along the lines of like metal versus Captain and Tennille is like this lightly love,
Lightly flavored
yacht
mustard
rock
love.
steel music. If you had his name in there, you'd feel he's more doing something with like Kiss and bands like that, and just more of a
Sounds
metal
aggressive,
rock feel.
yeah. I guess he was a sessions guy, and they always called him the captain because he was such a good keyboardist. But
He did a lot of
I don't
work with
care.
the Beach Boys, I know too.
yes, that's who kind of gave
I
him
think
the
that's
name,
the
the
name
captain.
of the captain.
Screw that. Your name is Daryl Dragon.
Well, the song.
If your name was Eugene Kowalski,
Rabinowitz.
fine, but your
Yeah.
name's Daryl Dragon, dude.
You have to
Yeah,
change
like you're
your name
already
to
in
that.
the door
If you were born Reginald Dwight, you probably have to change your name.
to like Elton John or something.
Yeah,
And then you
Elton
have
John or
people
something
like Engelbert Humperdinck,
Who said, "Screw you, I'm not changing"?
whose real name is like really normal.
Wait, wait. Engelbert Humperdinck is not his real name.
No, it's something
He
Dorsey.
chose that name.
Why?
Yeah, it's like
Why would you
I didn't
make
know
that?
that.
yeah, he went weird.
Yeah.
He had a normal
He drew the
name,
short straw, apparently.
like
What?
John Smith or something, and he's like, I want to be Engelbert Humperdinck, and there you go, you're Engelbert Humperdinck.
Oh, that's like the suicide of like the whole acting and music industry. Like change your name to something like, don't be John Smith, be Sebastian Bach or, whatever.
Lori says the Dragon and Tennille sounds better.
Well, if Yngwie Malmsteen played guitar for him, I think you could sell that. I think you could sell that,
Oh,
He
wait a
is
minute.
dead. The opportunity has missed him. He's no
Yes, sadly, he's no longer with us.
Tony's
Yes.
still with us.
Tony is.
Wait a minute.
Tony divorced him
Yes, she did.
after 35 years.
More than that.
Say that to me one more time.
Do that. to me.
Okay, if Yngwie
Yeah, I know. I'm
played,
kidding.
Keep it
Yeah.
together.
You see what I did there, Jake? Yes.
I saw what you.
I got you, buddy.
did a beautiful
I got
thing
you.
there.
and I don't
All
mean
right.
buddy, I mean buddy. Not buddy, but buddy.
Okay, proper names. Rick James. I don't believe that's his real name, but it's a cool name.
It is a cool name.
You ought to call him Ricky.
Rick Springfield.
Well, you may want to just
Yeah.
preface that, Brian, because I don't know if I do, and I think John does, but does everyone in the room know that Neil Young and Rick James were in a band together once?
Called the Mockingbirds signed to Motown.
Yeah. Most people do not know that. When you bring it up, it's always one of those like when you've got to trump the room on music and somebody thinks they
Right.
know everything. I pull that out of his back pocket and just go, well, that's
That's
sort
a
of
good
like
one.
this band, Neil Young.
All you have to do is say Neil Young
No,
was
never
signed to
happened.
Motown.
Yeah, well, that
You're
too.
like, what?
No,
Yeah,
that's impossible.
they remained
minute.
friends always, and he
Oh
always
yeah, no,
loved
they were
Ricky.
friends the whole life.
Yeah, very tight. Yeah,
I'll give you one. Ice-T.
that's cool.
Yeah.
I do not know his real name.
I can't
The problem
think
was you had Ice Cube so close. It was like, and Vanilla Ice. It was like,
Right.
Yeah,
Ice
Vanilla
Cube was
Ice,
on my
baby.
radar before Ice Cube.
I think that the one name period kind of went away fast, like Snow from The Informer. And what was the guy, Geraldo or Geraldo?
Geraldo.
With
Geraldo,
Rico
Rico
Suave.
Suave.
That's Suave, yeah.
Yeah.
That one name thing kind of went.
You had Giorgio. He did a couple cool tunes.
Wasn't there some like
Regina.
hanger-on from Boy George that had one name that tried to make a go of it too?
What?
There was some hanger-on of Boy George's that tried to make.
You mean from the band?
No, like a friend, like the blonde guy that you always saw with Boy George that wasn't in the band.
I don't know. Are
But it
you
was
thinking
another one of those
of?
one name things? Back when you had the one name.
Are you
people
thinking of that
hated-
cat who was in Kajagoogoo?
No, not Lamar.
Lamal, yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Not him. It was somebody else. But it was that period of one name stuff.
I think
Who
George
did that?
Carlin's did it
Boom,
best.
Boom, boom. Let's go back to my room.
Paul Lakatos.
Oh, okay. I thought for some reason that was a one name guy.
It was Paul Lakatos.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the name thing is funny because you want to hook, you want to get people's
Yeah.
attention,
It's marketing.
but you got to see it on a sign, got to see it on a T-shirt. Like Dangerous Toys. Their T-shirt didn't sell because they had a psycho clown and Dangerous Toys. It sold because it said "Sport" and a Woody on the back. At least it sold to me. So I mean, I might be speaking to only me, but
Like the
This
insane,
didn't-
we're different kids. You should have been there.
like the insane clan.
What is it?
The insane clan.
Oh, you mean
Insane Clown Posse.
Posse?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
the Clown Posse.
ICP.
Yeah.
See, there's a band that goes by initials too.
Good initials.
ICP.
You know what you get.
But they went further. Their fans are called
Juggalos.
Juggalos.
Juggalos, yeah.
They do Favo or Fayo or whatever that soda is.
And like, I don't even call them B movies, like C or D movies. Once in a while.
yeah. Oh yeah, they're way out there.
Yeah.
But I
That-
think there's
that's-
a point
that's
where
a
you got to make
culture.
it. You got to make it hit fast and furious. Like
Yeah.
what Ozzy. We all know we mean Ozzy Osbourne,
Right.
and he's one of the rare ones. Like I don't know Cher's last name. I don't know Madonna's last name.
Nope,
Saccone.
No, but you know what I'm saying? Like I know Ozzy is Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of the one name people at that period,
Right. You don't know. Yeah.
you didn't know.
Yeah, like Bono. I don't know his last name. You know Bono's last name?
I think it starts.
No, he
with
doesn't
H.
finish anything, so why would he finish his name?
But on
They
the
give it to you
first
for free on your iPhone.
No, but what's funny, John, is on the first album, he's credited as like Bono Vox, meaning beautiful voice. And like the Edge has got a longer name too, I think. It's like the Edge something. And then
Yeah.
at the second album, October, they were like, no, just Bono
There you
and
go.
the Edge and Larry Clayton. Or
I know Stings. Anybody know Stings?
Oh,
If you
give
gave
me
me
a
three
second.
choices,
I knew
I
it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
I'll give it GS.
Gordon
Gordon Sumner.
Sumner. Gordon
What
Sumner.
about Prince? What was his
Rogers Nelson, his full name.
Okay.
Well, like Lady Gaga, her name, first name Stephanie, her last name.
Jermowski.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's she's Lady Gaga, but when
Yeah.
my wife and I talk about her, we're like, oh look, there's Stephanie, she's on the TV, or
Yeah.
she's doing
Well,
this.
You can even
her
fit that on the
real
back
name.
of a T-shirt. That's a huge name.
Dude, we will go
that
to the
sideways.
grave. I guarantee Christian, me, Brian, and then any of the other 3,000 DJs in the room that caught it will go to the grave going, remember that night in August of like 2008 when The third act was Lady Gaga, and no one knew who the hell she was.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm talking so badly we didn't know who she was that Akon came out with her again and said, yeah, Lady Gaga's sound was bad earlier, guys. I just wanted to do the performance again. And we all had the same reaction, like, yeah, we like that like Just Dance song, but the disco thing I don't get. What's she holding in her hand? What's that light wand and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, here we are now. She's getting like $100 million to play Vegas residents.
I remember the phone call I made to you. I called you from the truck. I was driving the S10. I'm like, dude, you won't believe what I just heard on the radio.
Oh, yeah, I do too. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, seriously? And I saw her on like Regis and Kelly or Regis and whoever he was with before. And it was like
Kathy Lee
on. She was suddenly on in November. We saw her in August. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy. I just
it was like
I'm like
3 or 4 weeks later. It was
I just saw her like 2 months ago. How is she on this show now? Like,
right.
And by December, Just Dance was getting played at every event I did. And I'm like, oh my God. Like at the time, it wasn't even her. It was like Lady Gaga and Colby, whoever.
Right. Kelly.
Like that, like it was a 2-person song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, what the hell happened?
Yeah, that was neat.
You know,
and that's not a terrible name. It's not.
It's not. But you know, it's a cool name for an artist. Now that I think of it, Jewel. Jewel is something precious, maybe fragile but tough. Something that's adored. Something that's of value. I think it for a girl.
So, you know, for me, it reminded me of like women named Ruby.
Yeah, I can see that.
That's what I went with. She's older. Her name is Jewel. She's from her and Flossie went to school together.
Oh yeah, you knew Flossie. Yeah. I used to get the cigarettes.
And Mabel.
Well,
that was my mom's name. So
I don't want to show off, but when I used to have a band that we toured a lot, played the Garden a few times. We would tour usually with Bucket of Broken Glass. That was the band that always opened for us. It just made sense at the time because Flossie knew those guys, Mabel knew those guys, Ethel knew those guys. It just made sense. We bring the team through.
I'm going to go way back on this one. The Coasters. That was a decent name, I think.
Yeah.
We're not asking for bands that you heard in college.
Oh, stop it, Jay.
You saw them live. What are you talking about?
Okay, how about
live?
He's in his 30s.
Saw them live.
How about the Cult?
Meeting when they first decided to sing. What are you kidding me?
The Cult is a cool name.
Normal flavored Cult or Blue Oyster?
Well, no, but here's the question. What about the original Cult name? Because that's not the original name, is the Cult.
I like
Blue Oyster Cult.
No.
Not a band.
Ian Ashbury with Billy Duffy. That band. By the way, Billy Duffy was in a band with Morrissey before the Smiths. The Cult was originally the Southern Death Cult, and they shortened it to the Cult.
I like it shortened better.
I do too. But yet, for a long name, one of my favorite bands of all time, who I hope to see on June 3rd, my wedding anniversary, if I can convince my wife, it's a great way to celebrate 23 years of wedded bliss. My Life with the Thrill Kill Cult.
I was just thinking about that.
I love that name. That and Lords of Acid. Come on, great name.
Ministry is cool too.
Ministry is a great name.
But Skinny Puppy sucks.
It does. Well, band. Front 242 is the weird name because it makes you think like 242. What's that all about? Revolting Cocks, you get it. But Front 242.
Yeah.
Well, and going down that road, one of John's fave bands, a band that I'm into as well, Ghost. That's a good name.
Good name. Surprised nobody had it.
That's what shocks me, though. That's my point. Like, how did no one have Ghost until now?
I like the name The Kinks, too. That's a cool name.
The Kinks?
It's funny.
Kinks.
It's funny when you think about it as an adult. The Kinks.
Oh, yeah.
It's a great
what
name.
about The Tweaks? I don't know the band The Tweaks. It would be a good name, though.
I don't know them either, but it'd be a great name, yeah.
A stupid name, The Flock of Seagulls. I never liked the name of that band.
At the time, it sounded beautiful.
But it made sense then, like Thompson Twins,
Yeah.
Naked Eyes, Flock of Seagulls. Like, it all kind of Kaja Goo Goo.
And the synthesizer sound they made.
Kaja Goo Goo, yeah.
Duran Duran's a great name.
Duran Duran's a great, especially when you find out three of the members are all named Taylor. It was like, wait a second.
And they're not related.
And two of them are, I think, right?
Yeah, it's John Taylor, Roger Taylor.
Andy
Come
Taylor.
on. It's like,
The Talking Heads.
Took that from a movie, so
Talking Heads is
took
good.
the movie.
The Talking Heads was a weird name until I figured out that a talking head is
like a newscaster sort of thing.
like somebody who just
Rambles like me.
like
That
a
would be a talking
spokesperson. Like a spokesperson is a talking head.
For an imaginary world. That would be me.
Yes.
Yes.
So it was goofy until I figured out it was a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was a period where bands had, and you could categorize it going back. There are those periods where all of a sudden the tough names came up in the 80s. You went from, oh, I like Kajagoogoo to, I'm into Skid Row.
Yeah.
Like, really? Oh, yeah.
That's
No,
a
I
left
like
turn.
Skid Row. What about this other band, Warrant? Oh, I like Warrant.
The beautiful name that I didn't know what it meant, and I'm still not really sure what it means. I think I know what it means. I've been told that it might have been an urban myth. Is a Spandau Ballet.
I've heard you've heard the same thing I have. It refers to a prison named Spandau.
Spandau.
When they hung someone, they would dance around before they died.
No, I heard it was the Nazi gas chambers.
I heard it as this prison named
Ballet.
Spandau, and when they would hang them, their legs would move around like they were dancing until they died, and it was referred to as
the Spandau
Ballet.
Yes.
Way to keep it cheery, guys.
I was going to say, for a band of guys that were total new romantics.
We're going down this little rabbit hole real quickly.
We're in the death cab.
Where the hell are we going?
What's that, buddy?
I got a band that I never heard a song from them. I remember seeing the album cover. It was a co-worker of mine. Because he was talking about how great.
This is like I've never seen.
I saw the album cover. I said, "No way!" Dying Fetus.
That's terrible.
Well, is that like death metal, like Obituary and
Cannibal Corpse and stuff like that.
Cannibal Corpse? Yeah, there's a name. I think you know what you're getting when you go to Cannibal Corpse.
It looks like the logo of the band looks like a bunch of twigs laid out in a pile.
All in different angles.
I can't English that. What is that name of that band?
Well, think about a band that like has such a cool name that people never heard the music, but they just like the T-shirt, like Misfits.
Well, Motorhead's probably
Motorhead is another one.
Motorhead, the Ramones, and the Misfits are probably the three biggest selling T-shirts for people that have no idea what they're wearing.
Motorhead, just to me,
the coolest logo.
It sounds like a very American name. Like Motorhead's, when I was a kid, was the guy who worked on cars.
But that's the same thing in the UK, I think. I think they call it Motorhead too.
They drive little lawnmowers over there.
I know, but it's that expression. But they were into our cars. They didn't have. What are they going to have?
Yeah, it's true.
Hook up that 1.1 cylinder, liter Mini, and be like, "Ooh,
I got a Ford Escort, mate."
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. That's the thing over there. They love their Escorts.
It fits down the streets because the streets are like this wide. You need something that you can't drive full size cars over there.
And fuel is
drive minis.
75 pounds a liter. So they have to drive little stupid mopeds. But anyway,
I mean, when they pick a name like Bon Jovi, you had to know. He had to look at the success of a Van Halen and go, "I'll just use my last name and shorten it because it's Bon Jovi."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll break it in two. It's Bon Jovi. It sounds good. I'm the leader of the band. It's my band. Yeah, this all makes sense to me.
Yeah. Speaking of, I saw them open for a band with a really cool name, Scorpions.
I, on the other hand, saw Bon Jovi with the opening act that I thought was a cool name from the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area, Cinderella.
I saw that one.
You see that one?
I saw that truck.
Have you guys ever heard it?
You saw it at Centrum?
No.
I saw it at Centrum.
The Boston boys are talking.
Yeah. Sorry, everybody.
I don't know if you guys heard it. Well, you guys are at or seen the commercial. But Bon Jovi's family, because they're Italian, they had a jarred pasta sauce. I don't know if they still sell it or not. You can look. You can probably look online. But I remember hearing commercials for it. I want to say Sirius XM, but it was the Bon Jovi family, actually, the regular name, and they had a pasta sauce, a jarred pasta sauce they were selling.
Well, why not? The Wahlbergs have Wahlburgers.
Yeah, they got Wahlburgers.
And there's one not far from me in St. Charles, Illinois. So,
and God knows the Irish are famous for their burgers.
Potatoes.
Yeah.
Fries.
I don't want to be the one to upset anybody. Between Catholics and Irish, I don't think burgers was ever really like.
Just to change the flavor, we're going to make the potato tots, sweet potatoes. Just
Yeah,
so it's
6
something
days a
different.
week you can eat burgers. 1 day a week you can't, Mark. Okay, maybe you think that one through a little better when you do your Hallow app next time. Just saying.
Here's a great name.
What?
Here's a great name for a band. Not because I'm from the Boston area, and I'm not talking about Boston. The
Aerosmith.
Stompers. The
great name.
Stompers. That's a
That's cool.
great band name. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think,
mean-
anyway.
It makes me think skinhead.
The Stompers?
It makes me think skinhead.
They're
Really?
not though. They're
Like
more
Jack
new wave.
Boot kind of, yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. It sounds very violent.
Yeah.
I know they're not because I know who the Stompers are, but
Yeah.
that was that period we were talking about, Eric, where it's like the neighborhoods, the Stompers, the Del Fuegos. Like there was the period in the 80s where bands were all grabbing it, the Cars.
Right,
Aerosmith,
right.
Boston, they weren't the anything.
Pretty sure there was even a band called The for a while.
That was
There
a great
was.
band.
That's
Johnny
that's-
Marr played with them for a long time from the Smiths.
And I guess that's all in how you look at it. That's all in how you look at it. Stompers, to me, I didn't think violent. I thought like dancing, stomping around, dancing. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess it depends on how you look at it, but yeah.
Anyone else here think that if Eric shows up at the club, there's an ambulance 20 minutes away?
Watch your mouth.
I didn't think violent. I was just stomping around the club.
stomping around.
Those three guys with broken
stomping.
noses have
Yeah.
got nothing on
I
it.
probably just put some trash cans on my feet. That was a whole Broadway show too. Weren't they doing that whole stomp dance thing? And I'm like,
Like
metal trash-
Broadway,
Wasn't there a Broadway show called Stomp?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was.
it was.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was kind of like pre-Blue Man, but they didn't have like PVC pipes. They just had like
No, they
trash.
just beat
thing.
on,
Like
like
Riverdance meets Blue Man Group kind of thing.
Yeah,
That meets back alleyway, meets dumpster service.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, don't blame me. Brian invited me in here tonight, okay?
I'm not
Let's
blaming
go.
you. You know,
You're doing your best there, kid.
just realize we're not in lull right now, buddy. Okay, I'm just
Did,
saying. all right?
did anyone enjoy themselves tonight?
Oh yeah,
It was
Good
fun.
times,
Yeah.
good times.
You got a substitute T-shirt, so there you go.
Of course, we're all longing for the return. Just saying. Don't want to give
Yeah.
the impression that
No, I'm just saying.
just
You
like
got
in
to stop
Hollywood,
it.
one fell swoop of missing your residency and you're out.
It's like you got your English teacher substituting for your math class.
Right.
So was that okay? I don't know.
And
This
you
is
did it
sorta
without
like
bringing
the
in a
Hot for
VCR.
Teacher video.
You didn't roll in the TV on the cart. Like here's class today.
Yeah, I got to read the racing.
I got a
form.
feeling John.
I got the Daily
AV
Double
guy.
at Suffolk Downs.
John, you would have been the AV guy, wouldn't you? You would put the tape in, hook that TV up and stuff.
I had to hook a few of those puppies up once in a while because the teachers didn't know how to do it. Yeah, been there. My AV career started young.
Well, we did the Hanging with extended remix show tonight because we're going.
Just say, yeah, we're a little over time.
Well, not over, but we're over for his show, not over for the hour. So anyway, thanks
Yeah.
guys for joining us. Come back tomorrow if you're in here. That's so stupid. It's just two of you. But anyway, for my show that I normally
We're
do.
gonna spin the wheel tomorrow night.
You want to spin the wheel tomorrow, Eric?
I don't know. I would love that.
We'll spin the wheel tomorrow.
The fans have spoken.
You're the man.
We'll spin the wheel tomorrow on the Tuesday Night Music Show. We'll see you then. Thanks for watching.